So this is Girl Scouts of Wisconsin, Badgerland Council's Highest Awards Chit Chat. I love working with everybody. This is not just to our council specific. This is something that we do to support highest awards, bronze, silver, and gold awards. And we do it the first Saturday and the third Monday of every month. First Saturday, 9 a.m. Central, third Monday, 7 p.m. Central. And so we are here and we are chatting today. Hi, Dana.
Hi.
Can you tell us where you are and what role you have?
Sure. My name is Dana Halverson, and I am a Girl Scout troop leader for cadets in Holmen, Wisconsin.
All righty. What questions do you have for us today?
So we are looking at planning for our silver award, and I just want to make sure we're on the right track with understanding how we can use funds and getting a project approved and just the paperwork process. So just kind of looking for an overview to make sure I'm on the right track.
Absolutely. So I'll share some thoughts and then please ask follow-up questions. If when I'm saying something, if you want to go ahead and jump in and ask a question, feel free to do that.
Thank you.
So I'm going to talk about the paperwork part first. So there are two forms on Badgerland's website, and the easiest way to find them is to put silver in the search bar in the upper right-hand corner. And then it'll take you to the program page for silver, and they're listed there. So there is an intent form and there's a final report. Each girl should fill out her own intent form, even if they're working as a group on the project. It is recommended that you not have a group larger than 3 or 4 girls. So if you have more girls in your troop than that, you should really try and encourage a couple of different projects and split them up into that. Each girl, although if they're working on the same project, each girl should still fill out their own form and have their own individual answers to the questions. And it's a one-pager, like it's not overwhelming.
Okay.
The concept being, for example, let's say you have a group of 3 and they're working on a project for a humane society, because that's a popular subject. One of them might be working on a marketing piece of the project, another might be working on organizing an event, and another might be working on some other aspect. And so even though they're all working on the same project with the same end goal, when they're answering their questions, they should be thinking about their part of the project too. Okay. And then when they're done, there is a final report that they should each fill out also. And again, thinking about their part of the project. Some of their answers are going to be similar because they worked on it together. But, they should each fill it out and each have their own individual answers. And then that is submitted and council review. Both the intent form and the final report gets submitted to council. And you, as the troop leader, will get an email back saying, yep, we got it. You're good to go. Right now, I will tell you that there is a bit of a delay, but don't let the delay stop you. If you get worried about it and you haven't heard, feel free to reach out to the highest awards committee, which is badgerlandawards@gmail.com. And we can check in on it for you.
Okay.
But it isn't something that should stop you guys from moving forward at the silver level. The gold level is different, but at the silver level, it shouldn't stop you from moving forward.
Okay. Do we have to get approval for their planned project before they get started, or do you think, or is that more for the gold award?
That's more for the gold award.
Okay.
The goal is that the silver get approved through that intent form. But as I said, right now we have a bit of a delay and we don't want to hold girls up because of our delays. In the future, right now, council is managing the silver intent and final reports. In the future, the goal is that the highest awards committee will manage that. And then we'll be able to, because we have more people than one staff person that has other duties, and silver is a very small part of their duties. Not that it's not important, but it's extremely small and they have lots of other things going on. The goal would be to transition that to highest awards in the future. And then the highest awards committee would build it into our processes. And so that we would be able to turn those around more quickly. We are trying to revamp some of our gold things. So that's our focus right now. As soon as we're done revamping our gold, and our goal is within the year, we're going to start working on the silver pieces too.
Okay.
So just, I want you to be aware of that, because perhaps in the transition while the girls are working on the project, the highest awards committee, it becomes more involved, but right now it is council and troop leader directed.
Okay.
Okay.
And so with the silver award, does it have to benefit an outside organization, or what are the general requirements for the silver award?
So for the silver award, let me see if I can find the document I have. Not there. Okay, let me share my screen. So this is a document that we are in the process of reviewing, and then will be shared out so everybody has access to it. But I like it because it shows the progression. Okay, because the intent of the highest awards from bronze to silver to gold is to help girls learn and expand their knowledge base in order to continue it growing, right? So here's community service. Here's bronze, here's silver. So we're going to really look at silver. And with silver, what we want is we want girls thinking about root cause, because that is the key driver when you get to the gold award project. Okay. And it also helps girls to transition from this green community service column into the bronze and silver columns when they really think about root cause. And what that means is finding a problem to be solved. It's not a go out and do something. It's finding a problem to solve, involving other people in that solution, and like educating your community, making it bigger than you. So the answer to your question is generally, yes, they do benefit an outside party. But it's really more about what they're solving and what their outcomes are.
Okay.
So do they have some ideas?
They do have some ideas. They're kind of all over the place right now. So we're actually going to meet today to try to solidify. So that's why I wanted to make sure I had a good understanding of what the parameters were when they were planning their project. My understanding for the gold award moving forward is then that would be one where they're not only finding a problem in the community to solve, but it has to be something that's a sustainable solution. Is that correct?
Yes. Okay. At the silver level, it's not required to be sustainable. We want to talk about how to make it sustainable.
Sure.
But actual sustainability isn't a requirement at the silver.
Okay. And it's 50 hours of work that they have to each do. Okay.
And it's each. So like if they're having an event and it's a 3-hour event, yes, they're each going to get 3 hours for that. But for most of the project, they're each going to have their own individual times.
Sure. Okay. And then these girls did choose not to do fundraising this year. So they did not sell cookies or do the fall fundraiser. Just getting to an age, I think, where they're super busy and it's tricky. They do have some troop funds. And parents have also said they prefer right now just to pay out of pocket for things. Is that acceptable for this award, and looking forward into gold award as far as what we're going to need to have for funding. What are the requirements for that?
So that is a great question. And these are requirements across the board for the council. It's not specific to the awards.
Okay.
So what I'm going to share is across the board. It relates to the awards, but it's true across the board.
Okay.
And council's position is you need to participate in the fall fundraiser and participate in cookies in order to do any other outside fundraising.
Okay.
So moving forward, obviously they already made their decisions for this year. Moving forward, I would encourage participation in the fall fundraiser and the cookie sale. It doesn't have to be, I want to be the top seller. Like, it doesn't need to be full out top level, all of those, but participation, right? Send like for the fall fundraiser, send out those emails. Well, I guess we do that for cookies now too. Send out those emails, try and make some sales. And that's participation, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be full blown. We have to do cookie booths. You don't have to do that extreme level. Okay. But you do have to participate.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So if they do have some funds currently, they can use those, but they're not going to be able to raise more funds.
Correct.
What is the position as far as parents saying we're just going to pay out of pocket?
I think because it's parents, I think that it's not necessarily fundraising. It's parents are going to make donations to the troop. The girls aren't going out and trying to solicit. It's a gray area. Okay.
Right.
It is a gray area.
Wanted to do a weekend camp out or whatever, and we figured it was going to be $150.
The parents are going to pay for that, right?
And they all pay. That's acceptable. Okay.
Right. Yep. Okay. Yep.
Just wanted to be sure.
Absolutely. Okay. Right. Like, girls' parents there's likely going to be money coming out of their pockets for activities, right? So it's a gray area, and the girls aren't necessarily, they're not truly fundraising to go do that, right? So
right. But I do think it's important. They do have the funds already, I'm sure, for the silver award. I think they'll be fine. But looking ahead into the future for the gold, I think it's important that the girls are funding the project.
Absolutely.
From their work. Yeah.
And the gold award, that's an expectation.
Yes.
Because within the gold award, there's even a budget, and it says, and where are these funds coming from? And, those sorts of things. And we want the girls that's part of involving the community at the gold award level. Where we can, we do it at the silver level, but generally silver level projects don't cost as much as gold projects, and gold projects don't have to cost a lot. So I don't want to set that expectation either. They don't have to cost a lot, but there are projects that do. And when that is part of the project, is making sure that you budget appropriately and know where that money is going to come from.
Okay. Another question I have, just talking about fundraising, that's a little more general. I know that some troops have dues that they have, and we have never done that. But if we did that, would that be a part of their?
Yep.
So their money that they have, is it all just kind of considered like we don't have to keep separate? Like they've earned this through cookies, they've earned this through dues. It's just kind of a pot.
Right. And you're not supposed to keep track.
Okay.
It's troop money. And if you collect dues, it goes into troop funds and is used. And, especially at the cadet level, those girls can make those decisions on how those funds are going to be distributed, right?
Sure.
That should be part of their decision making. They're bringing that money in. They should also be deciding how it's going out. So that is part of it, but you're really, we really need to be careful about not saying Susie has $20, Joni has $40. We have to be really careful about that.
Yes. Okay. All right. That's great. So when we send in the intent form, you're saying because of this transition, we can probably go ahead and get started on the project. And then when we're submitting
and if you want, Dana, if you want to send it to me, I can I can probably point out if council asks any questions, what they're going to ask.
Okay, okay.
I mean, just to give you some peace of mind to make sure that they're not, like if you start right away, that 2 months down the road,
Sure.
you
that
don't
they're
get
on the
asked
right
something.
track.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I'm happy to do that.
And then
But
what
again,
would
but
you
it does go
suggest-
through council, so I don't want to say that, right?
Okay,
But
thank
I
you.
I have a pretty good feel for what they're going to ask.
Okay, yeah, we've been doing that. How far in advance should we submit the final report? I do have one of the girls she's in 7th grade now, so next year will be 8th grade, and I know it has to be, from my understanding, watching the videos, by September after her 8th grade.
Mhm.
So she's got
Yep.
some time, but so what would be the deadline to submit that final report to make sure it got approved in time?
So right now it is September 30th. What we're working
Okay.
on, we're transitioning that with gold right now. And for gold, I can't remember if we decided on September 1st or September 5th. Again, so that could be reviewed so that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed before September 30th. But right now for silver, it is still September 30th.
Okay. So I wouldn't even have to submit the report until that late,
Right.
is what you're saying. Okay.
Yes.
I think
You really don't want to wait that long, but
Right. No,
things
that's
come up.
not the intention at all.
Right.
I'm hoping that, this summer we can really.
Right. And especially going into high school, and if they do fall sports, like trying to set an expectation with them of August 1st or August 15th is probably better. Because then it's done before they get involved in fall sports or back to school stuff or things like that.
Sure. Okay. I think that is all the questions I have. I appreciate trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. When it said, I guess there is one more. I know we're supposed to be looking at a problem within the local community. What is defined as local community? Does it have to be within the confines of Pullman? Can it be La Crosse County?
It can be however the girls perceive their community.
Okay. Okay. Great. Alrighty. That was really helpful. I appreciate your time.
Do you want to share some of the ideas the girls have, or are you not ready for that?
Well, we haven't talked real specifically yet, but they had wanted to do they had a couple ideas for the bronze award, and then we did it during the pandemic, so we had to change our plans because of that. But so there were a couple of different locations that they liked, that they thought there could be some improvements made on some bridges, and maybe some signs put up to explain what local plants and trees and fauna and just some information. So they had some ideas like that, and they had a couple different locations for that they had thought of. They had thought about doing a pollinator habitat somewhere. Not sure on the location for that yet, but that was one idea that they had. And then they had also been talking about doing something for children in foster care.
Love all of those ideas.
Okay.
I will tell you, we get lots of pollinator gardens. So
Okay.
maybe directing them away from there might expand.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Okay.
We get lots of pollinator gardens. I love all of those ideas. They're all very, very appropriate. A couple of things, and again, this is me getting into the weeds a little bit, but a couple of things when you think about that is we want to make sure the girls are getting their recognition for that too. So for example, if they do signs for flora and fauna or whatever, however they do their signs, make sure it says that it's Troop whatever's Silver Award project on there.
Okay.
Sure. if they do a bridge, make sure that there's a plaque, or there's maybe wood burning, like learn a new skill too.
Sure.
Or something like that. So, and of course with foster care, that might be slightly different, but
Sure.
it's foster care is an amazing opportunity, and the girls can learn so much from working with a foster care group. So it's a great opportunity for them too.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, of those ideas that they've talked about, is there one that you think that would be better to maybe save for the gold award and then one for the silver award. Those are just different things that they've mentioned that they're passionate about.
Absolutely.
And we did do the Humane Society for the bronze award. So that was in there too.
Yep. So when I think about it, when you transition to the sustainability aspect, the flora and fauna, usually you're going to partner with an agency, and that helps build in the sustainability of maintenance of those signs. And of course, we're talking very specific. When the girls actually start talking about the projects, they might go in a different direction, right?
Right.
You know, a bridge, obviously, again, you're going to probably be working with some sort of community partner, and the bridge itself is generally sustainable, although it would need some maintenance, not as much as signs, right?
Right.
And so that, but again, you're probably going to work with a community partner, and then they're going to take over maintenance of that bridge afterwards. So those two have easier steps into sustainability. The foster care challenges we have when girls do foster care related type projects at the gold level is the sustainability piece, because often they're putting backpacks together, or they're doing some sort of care package or something like that. And so they often include a donation drive in that. And again, you can connect with a community partner to keep it going, but that's sometimes a more difficult ask, because it's like you have to continue, it's continually asking for more things to come in, right?
Right. Yeah.
So the setup of the ask can be more difficult.
Okay. I appreciate that. I think that's probably where I'll try to guide them if they're still interested in all of these things. And I think it's important to kind of think looking forward into the gold award too. Like if they have all these different passions and you want them to do something they're passionate about, what makes most sense for which award. So I appreciate that.
And it's super important that they be passionate, because they engage better when they're really interested in their project. So
yeah, and this is their project and their little mark on the world. So yeah. Well, awesome. I appreciate your time. It was very helpful for me.
Good. Well, that's what this is for. It's supposed to be just a low key, come on in and ask your questions. So exactly what this is intended for. So I'm glad that it was helpful for you.
Yeah, it was. And it was easy. I mean, I just signed up at the very last minute too. So thanks for.
Yeah. And I'm sorry that I was so slow at getting the thing. I actually haven't been, we got up early because we had to go move furniture. So I hadn't even been home to send out the Zoom links.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even know. It's like, oh, this is really last minute. I don't know if they'll even see it. So I appreciate that you did.
Of course. Of course.
Well, have a great weekend and happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, maybe.